Live from the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, Channel 51 presents Houston Rockets preseason basketball. And tonight, the Rockets started off with the Philadelphia 76ers. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Worrell. Good to have you for another year of Rockets basketball as we come your way this season with 8 preseason games prior to the tip-off on November the 2nd. And the Rockets are in a building frame right now. They finished strong last year at 30-12 at the end of the season, won 51 games, took Dallas to 7 in the first round of the playoffs, and they are trying to build on that. Good to have Matt Bullard back with us this season. And Matt, they certainly did have an exciting finish last year, and they did build in the offseason. They came up with a couple of really great free agent additions.
Yeah, they really did. And talking with Carroll Dawson before the game, he thought the chemistry on this team last year was great. He didn't want to mess up the chemistry, so he brought in a couple guys, Stromile Swift and Derek Anderson, who are going to fit in with this team. Now, Stromile Swift is a very, very athletic guy, and he can really get out on the fast break. The Rockets are going to want to look at fast break this year. Derek Anderson is a guy who can come off the bench. Now, we'll look at these numbers here. Both of these guys are pretty good NBA players, but Derek Anderson, like we said, is going to be expected to come off the bench and give the Rockets some punch like Mike James did for him last year.
Yeah, Stromile Swift has got a thigh that's bruised a little bit. He will not play tonight, but you may see him back in Houston tomorrow night. We have the answer, and we've got the question.
Oh, is that the question?
Yeah, okay. The question is T-Mac, and of course, the answer is Allen Iverson. These two guys have combined to win a lot of NBA scoring championships.
You see 2-time scoring champ for Tracy McGrady, 4-time scoring champ for Allen Iverson. Both of those career numbers right there are gaudy. Both guys had even better seasons last year than their career numbers show. Now, let's watch how these guys score. Okay, we're not gonna watch how they score, but they can score inside and out, believe me.
They really can, and of course it's time now for the Toyota Power Team keys to the game.
All right, the keys to the game. You got to play at game speed. You've been practicing for a week. Let's get out there and see how the game goes. Number 2, chemistry and rotations. The Rockets have great chemistry. Let's see if they can find some rotations that work. And number 3, Bill, please don't get hurt tonight.
I'm not going to. I taped my ankles, man. Good, I'm ready to go. And Jeff Van Gundy said he would play his starters about 18 to 20 minutes tonight, so we'll get to see them in action early. We'll be back with the tip-off in just a moment here on Channel 51. Again, everybody, and welcome back to the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia as we have NBA action coming your way tonight as the preseason starts with the Houston Rockets and the Philadelphia 76ers. Here tonight, Southwest Airlines starting lineups. And first for the Houston Rockets, they'll go with the starting 5 that really got them going at the end of the season, except for Rafer Alston. They just picked him up. Juwan Howard is back after an injury and maybe a career-threatening injury with that heart ailment, but he is back and playing this season. Tracy McGrady coming off a fantastic season last year. Yao Ming with more improvement in his 3rd year in the NBA. David Wesley really saved the day. A big trade for Houston last year that turned Houston's fortunes around. And Rafer Alston, the newest addition, as he was just added to the team about a week ago in a trade with Toronto with the popular Mike James. For the Philadelphia 76ers, they'll be going with Michael Bradley, Kyle Korver, Stephen Hunter, Andre Iguodala, and Allen Iverson, last year's scoring champion. We'll take a break and be back with the start of the first preseason game coming up next on Channel 51. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia for the first preseason game. There will be 8 preseason games before the start of the NBA campaign. Believe it or not, we're less than a month away from the start of the regular season. Jeff Van Gundy heading into his 3rd season as head coach of the Rockets. His first 2 years, he won 59% of his games, and that's the highest percentage of any coach in Rockets history. His winning percentage of 59% ranks 5th among the active coaches, tied for 15th in NBA history. And Jeff has improved this team each year he has been here. Now he wants to get by that first round of the playoffs this season and go farther. Mo Cheeks returns to Philadelphia, where he was a star player for 11 of his 15 years. Mo was an assistant coach when Philadelphia went to the NBA Finals in 2001. He went to Portland for 3 years and came back this season to lead the fortunes of the 76ers. And he will be the 5th coach of Philadelphia in the last 4 years, if you can believe it. So it's been fairly unstable here in Philly since Larry Brown's departure. But then we've said that over the last 20 years a lot, haven't we, Matt?
Yeah, we have.
Every time Larry Brown leaves someplace, he'll end up. Yao Ming has it down in on the post now. He'll work on Stephen Hunter, backs it in, jump hook. He worked on that all summer. We'll talk about it later. Kyle Korver with the rebound. Allen Iverson, one of the great offensive players of all time in the NBA, but the thing about Allen is he's got to have the ball. Tracy knocks it away out of bounds. When they talk about Allen, they talk about, well, he'll average you 28, 29 points a game, but it takes him about 30 shots to get them.
Yeah, well, he takes 30 shots a game, but he also takes a lot of free throws. He's driving into the lane, getting a lot of contact, so at his size, he's a pretty tough player.
Iverson coming off a pitch. That's what Korver does best, is shoot the three.
Those guys from Iowa can shoot the three, can't they, Bill?
Yeah.
Kyle Korver grew up in Pella, Iowa, just down the road from where I grew up. Of course, most guys don't have that kind of haircut growing up in Iowa.
That's right. Tracy McGrady puts up the jumper and misses, knocked out of bounds by...
It looked like it was knocked out by Stephen Hunter.
Yeah, I thought so too, but the official didn't agree with us. And the officials for tonight's game, and boy, how about our crew chief? Joe Crawford is officiating here tonight. His brother Jerry is behind the plate. He's the crew chief of the American League ALCS.
See, only you would know something like that, Bill.
Well, Jerry and Joey, that's been quite a family. And Iverson puts it up and in.
This is the time of year, though, that can happen, right? You got baseball still going on, you got football, and now already preseason basketball.
Yeah, their daddy, Jerry and Joey's daddy, Shaq Crawford, was one of the all-time great umpires in the National League for years. So Jerry and Joey both busy tonight.
But Joey's the black sheep of the family going to basketball.
Yeah, he really is. He loved basketball growing up as a kid, and there's Yao Ming. Boy, what an improvement Yao is expecting to make this year.
Well, look, 2 out of the first 3 possessions, they go inside to Yao. I'm sure that's by design to give him some touches.
There's a turnover. Juwan Howard down on the court to get it, and it's stolen.
Watch out.
Iguodala puts it up and in. There's a youngster in his 2nd year. He had a great rookie campaign last year. And Andre Iguodala out of the University of Arizona. He's really athletic at 6'6". Nice ball movement by Houston. Juwan Howard. That ball was tipped off the rim by Stephen Hunter. It's good to see Juwan back.
Yeah, it was very questionable whether he's going to be able to play this year. It's great to see him back, and I know he feels great to be back. I talked to him a little bit yesterday, and he's just so excited about being able to continue his NBA career.
Rafer Alston will bring it up now. Here's a young man that always finishes in the top 15 in assist-to-turnover ratio. Now with a tip, couldn't quite get it. Rafer's a pure point guard, and that's what Jeff Van Gundy felt like he needed. Iverson takes it to the basket, draws the foul, and as Matt told you earlier, he spends a lot of time at the free throw line.
Yeah, we talked with Coach Van Gundy on the plane out here to Philly yesterday, and you know, the Rockets traded Mike James to get Rafer Alston, and let's watch a replay as Allen Iverson goes inside, and you know, he's a little guy, and he'll throw his arms around and kick his feet out and fall on the floor a whole bunch, and he'll get a lot of calls, and he'll spend a lot of time at that free throw line. But getting back to Rafer Alston, Van Gundy was talking about how he was very happy with how Mike James played for the Rockets last year, but he just felt like Rafer Alston was going to be a better fit as a pure point guard on this team.
Yeah, he had his breakout season in Toronto last year on a bad team. And he and Sam Mitchell didn't see eye to eye on a lot of the way the ball club was run. Rafer, though, has really not been a problem. He played for Stan Van Gundy at Miami, so I think Jeff had a pretty good scouting report on Rafer.
Yeah, all you got to do is call his brother and say, you know, is this guy a good guy or not? And Stan gave him a good recommendation.
T-Mac for 3.
He can do that.
He can do anything.
T for 3.
I tell you, I never enjoyed covering a guy more than Tracy McGrady last year. You just, all the highlights. You make a full highlight reel of McGrady shots last season.
Yeah, and the thing about Tracy McGrady that I've been saying is I think he's the best all-around basketball player in the NBA. He can do everything well. Now let's talk about, you know, there's a lot of great players like Kobe and LeBron James and obviously Allen Iverson, but Tracy is actually playing defense now. You remember he had a career high in steals last year, 1.7 steals a game, and played defense in the Dallas series. on Dirk Nowitzki. So now that he's added defense to his game, he's the best all-around player in the NBA.
And from the corner, Rafer Alston hits a three. That's another one of his strengths, is three-point shooting. So he adds that. He is a career 36% three-point shooter. Taking it over Yao19p for two.
Nice little move by Michael Bradley that time. I felt like Michael Bradley might be the weak link in the starting lineup here for the Sixers, but really showed me something on that move.
Samuel D'Alembert will be the starting center for the 76ers, but he's injured and out of tonight's game. And Chris Webber will not play. He's also being rested, and he'll be a big force in the middle also. Bradley came over with Webber at the end of last year in that trade with Sacramento, and it did not work out for Philadelphia. Webber never could get into the offense. And Bradley was the forgotten man, but he has good offensive skills. Oh, backdoor dunk. Iguodala. I told you he was an athlete.
Yeah, you weren't lying. Great pass, too, from Kyle Korver on that alley-oop.
Have a whistle away from the ball.
Well, the Rockets have been going with their basic. Let's go back to this alley-oop. Kyle Korver sees him out of the corner of his eye, lobs it up there, and ooh, a little reverse. Just like you used to do it, Bill.
Yeah, when they lowered the basket.
I can't even do that on the no-surface.
I can't do it on the trampoline.
That's why he's getting paid the big bucks, Bill.
That's right.
But the Rockets have gone with their basic offense. They've got Yao19p posting up inside, and they're passing the ball from weak side to strong side to weak side, trying to get Yao the ball. Now Stephen Hunter was playing Yao very physically inside.
Dang Guy is in the game now. He's checked in for Hunter. Just picked up his second foul. Shot from the outside miss, and Guy with a rebound. He's a good shot blocker. Played at Fairfield. Korver from the outside, and the rebound goes to Houston. Wesley will push it up, cross court to Rafer Alston. Alston always looking for the pass first. Looking for T-Mac. Korver covering him up. Korver says he's going to be more than a three-point shooter this year. He's been working on his other skills. Yao19p takes it inside. He walked it right in point-blank range, but may have rushed his shot just a little bit. Bradley tied up by Wesley and fouled by David Wesley.
Well, we've been talking with the coaches, and they say that Yao19p has really been working on his post moves. And that was the last move that he made was a great post move. He just didn't finish the shot. And I don't think at this point in the preseason, only a week into the preseason, can you expect Yao19p or any of the Rockets shooters to be really on target. But as long as Yao's making a nice strong move, that's what you want to see.
Iguodala will shoot it from the outside. Missed it badly. And Dang Guy with a rebound. And a foul is called on Yao19p.
And those are the type of fouls that Yao is going to have to learn to stay away from. Those little cheap fouls, on a play that really doesn't matter.
Korver outside to Iverson. He'll put it up from everywhere. Juan Howard gets it to Rafer Alston. Alston probably dribbling the basketball is as quick as anybody in the NBA. And Yao19p goes to the rack for two.
And that time the pass from Rafer was perfect to Yao. Led Yao right to the basket.
That's important, too, for a big man, isn't it, man?
It is. It's very important to when you get the pass. If you get the pass where the defense is not, you can get a better feel of where the defense is at. And that's one thing that Yao doesn't do well yet is feel where the defense is.
Good defense by Houston creates a turnover. Wesley into the corner. Back outside to Alston. Yao19p just coming into your picture.
So the Rockets that time they explored the fast break, didn't have anything, so now they're setting it up in their half-court offense.
McGrady back outside. Howard gives it up to Wesley for a three, and it's in and out. Won't go. Good hustle by Howard, but he knocks it out of bounds. We have a timeout on the court, and we have 5:50 left to play in the first period. From Philadelphia, the Sixers lead it by 3. Philadelphia leading by 3 here in the first period. Let's take a look at tonight's McDonald's League leaders, and this will be from last year. The scoring leaders, Allen Iverson winning another title at 30 points a game. Tracy McGrady at just under 26 points a game.
Those two guys have led the NBA in scoring the last 5 years straight. Either one of those two guys.
Yeah, McGrady had a couple of back-to-back titles, and then Iverson coming along. Rockets 4 of 12, 33%. Sixers 5 of 9, 56%. Corver trying to give it up, and there's the deflection by Wesley. Wesley really added not only his good offense, that's 4 turnovers now by Philly, but he's a great defensive player, too. There's the ball knocked away from Alston. Iverson in the open court. Iverson picked up nicely by Juwan Howard, but a foul on Juwan. Well, it's really good to see him back. When the Rockets were finishing strong last year, that was one of the main reasons, Juwan Howard. He was playing the best basketball, I thought, of his career. And he went down with a knee injury at Golden State. And then he came up with a rare heart condition, a little something about the tissue around the heart. And he had a tough go of it there for a while and didn't think he'd be able to play any basketball anymore. But they cleared him.
Yeah, what did he have to sit out, just sit still for 6 weeks?
Yeah, couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and to see him back on the basketball court this soon is great. And he's really going to have a chance to be effective for the Rockets this year. Now, obviously, the Rockets signed Stromile Swift to play that same position as Juwan Howard, but Juwan Howard is the type of guy he's very unselfish. He was a team type of player, and he's going to do what he can do when he's on the court.
When you look in the dictionary and look up class, he'll be right there. One of the real class guys in all of professional sports, and a heck of a player.
And certainly one of the most well-dressed players too. He's always
that could be important.
Yes, that could be important in this year's NBA. We'll see how the league-wide dress code, if that gets passed or not.
Oh, great move by Yao, but he missed the dunk shot.
Well, good to see him try to dunk. Nice aggressive move, just didn't finish.
Allen Iverson outside. Bradley has a nice little face-up jump shot, so you got to guard him. Iverson shovels it up off the glass for 2.
Oh, Bill, that was nasty. Did it all with one hand. Made it look too easy.
He's really happy. He says for the first time in his career, he is actually looking forward to coming to practice in the preseason, if you can believe it.
Practice? Practice? Did you say practice? Watch this one-handed. That's just making it look way too easy.
Mo Cheeks was the assistant coach for Larry Brown when they went to the NBA Finals, and I think a lot of people around here think that Allen was the main reason why Mo Cheeks is sitting on that bench right now. Iverson wanted Cheeks back here as the head coach. Well, if you're Jim O'Brien was a coach last year, and I don't think he and Allen saw eye to eye.
Well, if you got a player like Allen Iverson, a guy who's going to give you 30 points a game and 8 assists like he did last year, why not make him happy? You want him to be happy every night, and if he says he wants to play for Mo Cheeks, man, that's a pretty good compliment right there.
And Mo doesn't run a real tough ship, kind of the kind of training camp that you would...
You mean like 7 days of 2-a-days?
Yes, he doesn't run that type of camp.
I've been through a few of those, Bill, and they're grueling.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy has backed off quite a bit with this veteran team that he's got now. He's not really having too many 2-a-day workouts.
He gave him a day off on Sunday, Bill.
Boy, that's unheard of.
I've never heard of a day off in training camp before.
Yeah, they went to the baseball game, the Astros game on Saturday night, had the day off Sunday.
I think that's really smart. I'm making a little joke about, 2-a-days and everything, but I think it's very smart because, it's Tracy McGrady. He's moved along the baseline.
A little double.
See, now, if he'd been doing 2-a-days for 7 days straight, he wouldn't have been able to make that move. He'd have been way too sore.
No, that was you.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of you.
I'm getting sore just thinking about 7 days of 2-a-days.
Juwan Howard takes it away on the rebound, gives it up to T-Mac. Tracy lays it up to Juwan. Juwan turns, draws the foul. What a veteran move, and he just missed the basket.
Nice little fast break that time. A little two-man fast break with Juwan Howard and Tracy McGrady. Nice pass from Tracy McGrady. We'll see Tracy McGrady along the baseline, hanging in the air, a little English off the glass. That's making it look easy right there.
T-Mac to the rack. We're going to be seeing that quite a bit this year. Well, he is something. And Juwan Howard now will be shooting the freebies from Michigan.
But getting back to Van Gundy, giving the guys a day off, and he really feels like he's maturing as a coach, really getting a feel for how his team, if they need to work hard or if they need to back off a little bit, and he's really got a better feel for his players. And I think his players obviously have a great line of communication with him, tell him how they feel. So you certainly don't want to get injured in the preseason. You don't want to have any pulled muscles. You see the 76ers have 2 guys with right quad strains. You don't want to see that kind of stuff in the preseason, because if your main guys aren't out practicing, then what's the point of having practice?
Well, And there's so many injuries around the league this year. Did you hear about Amari Stoudemire today?
Oh, that's going to hurt Phoenix.
He's going to be out 4 months with an injured left knee. And Phoenix made a lot of changes anyway.
Yeah, and that's a kind of injury right there to a main guy that's going to affect your whole season. And it happens in the first week of training camp.
Rockets on a 7-0 run right now. Wesley and McGrady stay in the game along with Juwan Howard. Moochie Norris is in.
Nice pass.
Dikembe Mutombo has come in for Yao Ming, who has 7 points. And that's going to be a 3-second violation.
That was 2 nice passes.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah, 2, exactly.
Everybody stayed in the lane.
Rockets are being too unselfish with those 2 nice passes.
Game tied at 17 with 3 minutes left to play in the first period of the first preseason game of the year. Rockets will be coming home to play tomorrow night against Orlando in Toyota Center. T-Mac with the loose ball. And another thing that Jeff Van Gundy is trying to get the team to do more in this preseason is get the ball up the court in a hurry. He wants some easy baskets.
Yeah, he wants his team to be a fast-breaking team. That's, Rafer Olsen was brought in for that, but also the guys that he has from last year, he feels like they can fast break.
Juwan Howard has made a good living with that shot right there from 17 feet.
Young kids, if you want to play basketball for a long time, be able to hit that mid-range jump shot because it's a dying art in the NBA.
And when Howard, that's why the Rockets played so well down the stretch last year. He was hitting that shot. You can't come crowding in on Yao Ming when Howard is hitting that open jumper from the other side of the lane. And a steal by Salmons, and Moochie Norris ties him up. So we have a timeout on the court with 2:03 left to play in the first quarter. And the Rockets have their first lead of the preseason. Welcome back to the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia. Houston with a 19-17 lead. We want to welcome all of our viewers on Channel 51 in Houston and also around the nation on NBA TV. As you're watching this preseason game, the Rockets currently on a 9-0 run. Philly has missed 5 straight shots. Well, the Rockets organization really pulling for the Houston Astros. They'll be opening up tomorrow night in the National League Championship Series against St. Louis, a rematch from last year. What a great run for the Astros. Started out the year at 15-30.
Ouch.
Tombstones put in the Houston Chronicle. Yeah. But the death was not exaggerated. It was a wonderful run by the Astros. They finished up about 74-33 on the season, and the Rockets did the same thing last year. Remember, they started out 6-12, Matt, made the trade for David Wesley, brought in John Barry, and boom, they just turned their season around, ended up with 51 wins.
Well, they increased their scoring average by almost 10 points a game after they traded for Wesley, and that's a good way to win games is to score more points.
Well, the Astros with that great 6-hour game Sunday to win the first round of the division championships over Atlanta.
Well, a couple of the biggest Astro fans we've got in Houston are here in this arena.
Yeah, Tracy McGrady is huge, isn't he?
And Jeff Van Gundy.
Van Gundy. They both went to the game on Saturday night. Tracy McGrady is a huge baseball fan and has really become a big Astros fan. And the Astros, vice versa, they love to watch him play. There's a block by Dikembe Mutombo. You think he knows how to do that?
He's done it a few times. Looks like he got it pretty good that time, too. Fouled him right on the ball. I hate when that happens.
John Salmons at the line for the Sixers. Derek Anderson in the game now for Houston, along with Mutombo, Moochie Norris, David Wesley.
Moochie getting a good chance tonight, coming in early at the point guard position. Kind of on the end of the bench for the Rockets last year, but Van Gundy told us yesterday he's giving Mooch a chance out here tonight and see if Moochie can take advantage of that. And also Derek Anderson seeing his first minutes as a Rocket, and we talked with Coach Van Gundy, and he really expects Derek Anderson to give the Rockets that spark that they need off the bench. Mike James was very good off the bench last year, came out and scored points in bursts, and that's the kind of guy that Derek Anderson can be.
There's another class citizen, too, and he's been wanting to come to Houston. He said the last couple of years he thought they were going to make a deal for him, and they were trying to.
Well, he was making way too much money.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? He
was at Portland.
And Portland used the amnesty rule this year with him, didn't they?
Uh-huh.
And so he's making a whole bunch of money with Portland this year and playing for the Rockets. So that's what we call the double dip.
Well, I don't know what that long conversation was about. They didn't let us in on it, but did they call it on Howard instead of Dikembe Mutombo?
I don't know. It's preseason, Bill. They're still trying to figure it out.
Well, they're resetting the clock.
definitely preseason then if they got to take that long to reset the clock.
So both coaches a little asking questions about the officials, or to the officials. John Salmons, terrific athlete at the free throw line.
As a veteran player, though, you don't mind having those breaks in the middle of training camp. You're not completely in basketball shape, and if you got about a 30-second break like that, you can take advantage of it.
Matt, being a former player, there's some guys out there just trying to get in shape. There are other guys out there trying to make the team.
Yes. And the Rockets have a team that's pretty much set. You know, there aren't. I wouldn't say that there's any spots that are up for grabs on the Rockets, but there are teams around the league with their, you know, the last 3 or 4 or 5 spots on the team. There's guys fighting for those jobs, and I was one of those guys. A lot of years in my career trying to fight to make the team, and it's really a stressful time for the guys that are on the end of the bench.
And one of those guys trying to make the team here in Philadelphia just committed that foul. That's James Thomas, and a lot of folks will recognize that name. Thomas, former star at the University of Texas, 4 years, and one of the leading rebounders in Texas basketball history. And he's trying to make this team with the Sixers, as Juwan Howard will have one more free throw. He has 5 points. McGrady has 5. Yao Ming with 7.
Some of the best advice I ever got was, you know, when you're playing in a preseason game like this, you're not playing for the team that you're on. You're playing for all the NBA teams, because some of the NBA teams are looking around the league to see if there's a guy that's going to fit their needs. And you may not make the Rockets, but you might pick up with another team.
Kevin Ollie, a veteran, at the point guard position now. There's a switch by Houston. Defense, of course, is number 1 with the Houston Rockets when Jeff Van Gundy is a coach. There's the guy that Mo Cheeks thinks can be the difference in this Philly team this year, John Salmons. If he can get him to play, he's in his 4th year. And this is the key year for Salmons. That ball was off the foot of Anderson. Wesley, ball is loose outside. Salmons gets the steal and puts it up and in. He's the best defensive player for Philadelphia and is a terrific athlete at 6'6". He just never really has jumped up to become the player they thought he could play. There's another turnover by Houston. And rattling around, there's an old friend of yours.
Yeah,
shooting it up.
Lee Nalon, a teammate of mine in Charlotte. He had an excellent year in New Orleans last year.
There's another steal, a turnover by Houston, and Thomas couldn't convert the layup.
Pretty sure all these Rockets turnovers are not in the game plan. Although Van Gundy yesterday did tell us that he expected to see a lot of turnovers just because his team's not completely sharp yet, but you're never happy with turnovers when you're a coach.
Rockets have 4 turnovers in the last 5 possessions. Wesley misses. Thomas with the rebound. That's something Thomas can do. He can really rebound the ball. He's not a real good shooter, and that's probably why he's not in the league. Ollie in the corner. Salmons draws the foul, and Wesley picks it up.
Well, that was a veteran move.
That's a 3rd on Wesley.
Although Wesley is a much more veteran guy than Salmons is.
Yeah.
That's something that David Wesley probably won't see that from him in the regular season too often.
Salmons went to high school here in the Philadelphia area, then went to the University of Miami, and when he came to Philadelphia, this will be his 4th NBA campaign. And, you know, they've always said that he certainly has the ability to be a frontline NBA player, but that gets a lot of coaches fired if you don't jump up and become one.
Coming home to play can either be a blessing or a curse, though, Bill. I mean, you can come home to, like John does here, to Philadelphia and feel a lot of support and really play well, or you can have a lot of people asking you for tickets all the time and distracting you.
Well, Salmons will have one more. He was behind the arc when he was fouled, so he gets 1 out of 3. And the Sixers now up by 4. The Rockets have been turning it over, and Mucci stepped out of bounds before the shot with 0.3 of a second left, so another turnover by Houston. Nalon will bring it in.
0.3 seconds. You got to catch and shoot in 0.3. Is that right?
Yeah. That's the cutoff point. Nope. You can't catch it and come down with it. Rockets had the lead with a 9-0 run, but the Sixers came storming back. They had an 8-2 run of their own to close out the quarter, and that's where we are after the first 12 minutes. Sixers 25, the Rockets 21. Welcome back to the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, 25-21 after the first 12 minutes of the first preseason game. Lots of stuff going on here in Philly last night. The Rolling Stones were in concert here in this building, and they will also be in concert tomorrow night here, taking a break, you know, at their age now, man.
Yeah, they can't go back-to-back nights, can they?
No more back-to-backs for the Rolling Stones. And
was it your job or mine to figure out that the Stones were in town and we needed tickets last night? Was that you?
No, that's your job.
Oh.
Actually, though, they're more my age, so probably it was more my responsibility.
Yeah. But if we'd have known, we could have been here.
Well, back in Houston, Neil Diamond's at the Toyota Center tonight. That's another one of my from my era.
Yeah.
I bet you don't know any Neil Diamond songs, do you?
Isn't there one about the USA or something like that? No. Well, that's Bruce Springsteen.
Even I knew that.
Oh, Coming to America. Isn't that Neil Diamond?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, your speed's U2. That's where
you
got the tickets in L.A. last year. Took you 2 days for your ears so you could hear anything.
Well, at least we have hockey back now. We can see some hockey games this year.
Yeah. Kevin Ollie put the jumper up and it went out of bounds, so the Rockets will have it now.
That's the definition of brick. When it hits the rim and it bounces all the way over the backboard. When you look in the dictionary, that's what it shows you.
Lonnie Baxter is in the game now, so Moochie will look for Lonnie on the post-up. Baxter won him a championship at the University of Maryland and has been around with a couple of teams. Coming off a pick, Wesley. Baxter with a rebound. That's something he can do pretty well, and he puts it back up and in. A very active body, and was signed by Houston before the start of two-a-days because he had such a good summer league with the Rockets this year. Tell you, he looks in pretty good shape, as good a shape as I've seen Lonnie Baxter in a long time. Salmons to Guy back out to Ollie, who will shoot the jumper. Kevin Ollie. I've always liked that Kevin Ollie out of UConn in his 9th NBA season. Another turnover. Salmons will shoot the three. He misses, and Mutombo has it knocked away by Thomas, but Moochie covers it up to Wesley. Moochie will set it up.
You said the Rockets had 2 turnovers in the first 10 minutes and then 5 to end the first period. That's the kind of rotation that Jeff Van Gundy, he's going to notice that and see the guys that were on the court and say, well, they turned it over too much. I'm able to try a different rotation next time.
Extra pass by David Wesley got Derek Anderson the basket. 2-point game, Philly with the lead. Just underway with the second period.
Bill, do you think that the score really matters in a preseason game?
I don't. Well, you played it. What do you?
No.
What do you think?
I think as a player in the preseason, you really don't have any idea what the score is. I mean, maybe you do, but the score doesn't really matter. I think you're more worried about remembering the plays or trying to get in better shape or trying to become a better team player. But to me, the score never mattered in the preseason.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy said he wanted to play his starters anywhere from 18 to 24 minutes here tonight. And you know, it showed because his starting team, while the starting team was intact in the first 7 minutes of the first quarter, had only 2 turnovers. And since that time, the Rockets have got 8?
Yeah, you got 6 since that first 10-minute period.
And a whistle and a foul on Lonnie Baxter.
So that, doing my math, means that that's 6 turnovers in 4 minutes.
There's one of the Stones taking in the game here tonight.
Yeah, looks like he slept here last night, Bill. Oh, man.
Salmons trying to draw a foul. Baxter with a loose ball. So the Rockets with a chance to tie on this possession. And it's up and in.
Nice pull up by Moochie. That's one thing about the point guards on the Rockets is they're going to be asked to pass the ball and make open jump shots.
Moochie Norris in his 9th season and a very popular player in Houston, and was traded back to Houston at the end of last season. Lee Nalon will nail that shot most of the time. That's his range.
Yeah, he's got a very good mid-range game. He's a scorer. You wouldn't call him a shooter, but he's definitely a scorer.
He got the ball a lot in New Orleans last year and led the team in scoring. Baxter never quite had the ball. Ollie gets the turnover and brings it up. Salmons, well, nobody picked him up. That's like coming out early for practice. Salmons has come in and scored 9 points in the first 8 minutes, and Jeff Van Gundy wants a 20-second timeout.
See, Jeff Van Gundy knows that this is preseason. He knows it's his first game, but he's not going to stand for giving a guy a wide-open three-point shot, and he's going to take this 20-second timeout to teach his team, look, that's not something that we can give up, especially to a guy like Salmons who can knock that shot down. That's one of the basic things about basketball is you've got to know who you're guarding, and you've got to be able to pick that guy up.
Going to take a full timeout now. 8:57 left to play. We'll be back in a moment.
This is
32-27, Philly with the lead here in the second period. And Matt, what you got for us?
Well, we're going to show this last fast break by the Sixers now. Stop it right there. Now see, it's a 2-on-2 fast break right there, and someone's got to pick up the basketball. Go ahead and run it. Now Tracy McGrady decides to pick up the basketball, and as the rest of the guys come down the court, now stop it there. You see Derek Anderson's pointing, saying, "You got my guy, I got yours." And Mutombo right there, he doesn't have anybody. Go ahead and run it. There's the wide open shot. The Rockets did not pick up the shooter on the fast break.
There's a trap by Philly. Derek Anderson gets it back to Moochie Norris. Moochie with a nice drive inside, floats it up, off the rim, won't go. Rebound to Baxter. I'll tell you, that Lonnie Baxter now, he'll put his body in there, and he has a considerable body to lay on you at 6'8", 261.
He averaged over 20 points and 10 rebounds in the summer league, so he can get it done.
This is his 4th season in the NBA now, and he's really fighting hard for a job.
Some illegal defense that time on like Lonnie Baxter.
Defensive violation on Houston. Well, they let a little more freedom go inside last year, and a little more defensive freedom. Also tried to do away with touching fouls, and it really opened up the game, didn't it, Matt?
Yeah, and that's what Coach Van Gundy's trying to do with this fast-breaking style he's trying to implement this year. He wants to be able to get down the court on offense before the defense can set up and really take advantage of the speed that he's got on this team this year.
Salmons picked up outside, and a turnover. Good defense by Derek Anderson. Bob Sura, of course, had another knee surgery just about a week ago, and we don't know how long he will be out. That's why the signing of Derek Anderson was so important before the season started for Houston, to give them some more depth in that backcourt. And a whistle, and Nalon with the foul.
You know, and that I thought last year when Bob Sura came back from the back injury, that's when the team really took over the personality that it did. And you know, that also coincided with bringing in David Wesley and some of the trades that the Rockets made. But I really thought that the team took over Bob Sura's mentality, and let's hope that while he's out at the beginning of this year, the Rockets can continue to play that hard-nosed style basketball.
Yeah, really going to miss Bobby with his energy and the way he plays. And McGrady misses, and Mutombo goes to get it. And the Rockets get another possession. McGrady takes it inside, lays it up off the glass for 2, and he's fouled on the play. Wow, it's magical.
He can hang in the air. Let's watch. We'll see him hang in the air and get fouled. There's a contact and still be able to shoot it and not get it blocked. That is special right there. There's no way you can teach that. There's no way you can even practice that. That's just got to flow.
Yeah, last year Tracy became the first player in Rockets history to reach 2,000 points, 400 rebounds, and 400 assists in a season.
Some other guys have gotten 2,000 points, but not the other stuff.
Keem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, Elvin Hayes.
Yeah, just those guys.
Yeah. That's not a bad little cast, is it?
Yeah.
A lot of people forget about the Big E, Elvin Hayes, but when he was with the Rockets early in his career, he was as good a scorer, rebounder, shot blocker as there was in the game. And a whistle, good.
I think there was something else. Tracy McGrady and the Big E are both. They both score over 27 points in their first season with the Rockets.
Yeah, McGrady averaged just over 25 points a game in his first season. There's Anderson going to the basket.
How about that left hand? Getting it up there on the glass and go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Yeah. Elvin averaged 28 points in his first season as a Rocket, and that was when the franchise was in San Diego.
Think we'll see another franchise in San Diego anytime soon?
Well, I don't know. Right now, New Orleans will play its games in Oklahoma City because of the devastation of Katrina, and we don't know what will come of that, when they will be able to rebuild those buildings and get them in there.
I would say that if there is a city that's looking for a team, say Las Vegas or San Diego, there may be one available to move here pretty soon.
Nalon giving it up to Bradley, and that's goaltending on Lonnie Baxter.
Pretty good explosiveness that time by Baxter, coming in and out from the weak side. Didn't quite get it before it was goaltending, but still nice to see.
Emi Udoka out of Portland State has checked into the game, and Nalon cannot stay with McGrady, but that ball is blocked. The shot by Tracy on the reversal. Ollie gives it up to Nalon, goes to the front of the rim for two. Lee Nalon has come into the game and does what he does best, and that's put points on the board. Mucci up for two.
That was Rafer, actually.
Oh, was it? Okay,
coast to coast.
I couldn't see. Rafer,
Rafer is one of those guys that can, like you said, can push the basketball with the best of them, and that's what the Rockets were really lacking last year, is a guy that can handle the ball on the break.
He can really fly off that dribble. A lot of guys have good speed, but once they put the ball on the floor, they slow down a little bit. But he's got great speed with the basketball.
He's just as fast with the basketball as he is without it, and that's a rare talent.
That foul was on Baxter. That's his second.
Rafer coming into being traded for the Rockets is, since we don't know when Bobby Sura is going to be back, Rafer is pretty much the starting point guard to start the season.
And the reason why the Rockets made the deal, and the ball knocked away. Ollie came in, got a nice steal. Nalon takes it up the court for two more. Lee Nalon now has come off the bench. He has 8 points.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that guy can score. I mean, he's not a household name, and he's not a guy that shoots the ball well, but he can put the ball in the basket.
10 turnovers by Houston, as you see. The Rockets trail by 2. After that basket by McGrady. And Tracy with 9 points. Fouled by Rafer Alston. So Yao Ming prepares to check back into the game, but we'll have a timeout first. And the Sixers up by 2. 5:51 left to play in the second quarter. Rockets fans, if you want great seats for the best games, you can purchase one of the many multi-game plans. And we've got weekend packages, weekday packs, and several other options built to suit you. Just call 713-627-DUNK or log on to Rockets.com, and we'll set it up with a ticket package that works for you. It's going to be an exciting season at Toyota Center, and you need to be there to live it. Every day, every game.
Live it, Bill.
You know, we do have, and I like the way that the Rockets have done this with the packages. If you want a big man package, there's one for that. You got a weekend package. If you can't make it on the weekends, they got a package. But they'll tailor-make one for you.
Yep. Yeah, they do a good job of really, coming to 41 home games can be tough.
Well, we'd like you to be there for all of them.
Well, Clyde will be there for 41 home games, and it's going to be tough. But what I'm saying is, if you want to buy a ticket and come to the game, sometimes you can, if you only want to come to 6 games, the Rockets can put together a package for you.
Clyde may be there for more than 41 games once we go into the playoffs.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We'll see Clyde tomorrow night. I'm excited about our team. You on the road, Matt Bullard and Clyde Drexler will be sitting next to me for the home games. And we will be at home tomorrow night against the Orlando Magic.
A couple guys, I guess one guy on that team who used to play for the Rockets.
Steve Francis.
Yeah. Coming home, Steve still keeps a house in Houston. So.
Not sure whether he's a 1 guard or 2 guard. They haven't decided that
Still
yet.
trying to figure that out, aren't they?
Well, we were when he was with the Rockets.
Yeah.
Bradley misses. 40-37 Sixers now. Yao Ming back into the game with Juwan Howard, McGrady, Rafer Alston, and Derek Anderson. So it's the starting 4 with Anderson. Great move by McGrady. Puts it up with a left hand up and in. And Tracy McGrady with 11 points. He can score just about any time he wants to. There are a handful of guys like that. Got one here, Allen Iverson, along with Tracy, Kobe Bryant. Just hard to stop those great players when they want to get their shot.
Well, you can't stop them with one guy. It's got to be a team defensive philosophy to stop a guy like that.
Look at that trap by Houston. Great defense. 4-on-2 fast break. McGrady to the basket. Gets a foul. And the basket.
I'm going to call that a controlled break. Didn't look very fast, but it was very effective. The Rockets had a 4-on-2, and they didn't really know who. Tracy was like, okay, who am I going to pass it to? There's 4-on-2. Well, he passes it to the right guy because he got it back to make the and-one shot.
That defense is great. And, Matt, in 2 seasons under Jeff Van Gundy, the Rockets have held their opponents under 40% shooting 64 times, 27 times last year. And that's really some great defense.
Well, that guy right there, he stresses defense. That's the first thing he's going to work on is his defense. And the referees changed their call and give the ball to the 76ers. You see Mutombo not too happy with that call. But
boy, Deke, it's just the first preseason game.
he's in midseason form, isn't he?
he's ready to start the year.
That's one of the all-time great guys in the NBA right there, Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, it really is. Good to have him back. He signed a 2-year deal to come back. In fact, that's what Carol Dawson wanted to do, was keep that chemistry together. There's a nice move by Stephen Hunter. He was another acquisition by Philadelphia in the offseason. And along with Dallin Bear, Hunter gives them a lot of presence in the middle.
Well, those two guys you mentioned, Hunter and Dallin Bear, are very athletic 7-footers.
Hunter with a rebound. Rockets 9 for 13 here in the second quarter for 69%. Make it 9 for 14 now. They just missed. Iguodala trying to turn the corner, and a foul is called on Yao Ming.
See, Iguodala had nowhere to go on that play. There was nothing open, and Yao shouldn't have fouled him. That's just one of those things that Yao's foot speed is not quite up to par with some of the guys that he's playing against. And in that particular case, I would have just liked to see him let him go.
Jeff Van Gundy, one of his goals is to get Yao Ming, keep him on the court longer this year. So if he stays out of foul trouble, if he gets more minutes, Yao will score more points. That's just obvious. But he's also trying to improve the on-the-ball defense so that your man that you're guarding, if he gets by you, doesn't create foul problems for Yao.
Yeah, that's one of the things that he talked about, was that it's the entire team's job to keep Yao out of foul trouble. If you're a guard and you let your guy get by you and Yao has to foul him, then that's the guard's fault, not Yao's fault.
There's Yao posted up now. He's in good position on Hunter. Gets the double team. That leaves Alston open. Back outside to Anderson on the drive, and he's fouled on the play by Udoka.
Now, see, that's Rafer Alston saying, my fault, my fault. And all of his teammates on the bench are saying, shoot that ball. And Rafer had a wide open 3 that he passed up to dribble into the paint. And that's one of the best advice that I ever got my rookie year from Coach Don Chaney was, it's better to shoot the ball and miss than not shoot the ball at all.
Now, see, that comes from a great defensive player like Don Chaney. He would tell you that. What a terrific player and coach Don Chaney.
Yep. I really enjoyed playing for him with the Rockets, and then I was also a Detroit Piston for 2 days when Don Chaney was the coach in Detroit.
Well, Don out of basketball right now. That's basketball's lost because I'd have him in my organization somewhere. What a terrific guy. And makes his home in Houston now. He and Jackie. Udoka. And the pass to Bradley went awry. And here comes Rafer Alston. And watch him move that ball. He gives it up to the trailer. Anderson gives it back to Alston. Alston had the ball deflected. Turnover. Iguodala can fly. Gives it up to Williams in the open court. It's tipped up and in. And back down to Anderson the other way. He fakes, puts it up and in for 2. Fast and furious action here. 46-45 Sixers. See the time remaining. Boy, Williams, that young high schooler. Now, Lewis Williams is out of South Gwinnett High School in Georgia and drafted in the second round by Philadelphia. He's only 18 years old, and T-Mac draws a foul. He'll get 2, maybe 3.
How about Trace McGrady, the power that he's showing on these finishes? It's only first week of the season. And he's already got mid-season form on taking the ball inside, drawing the contact, using power with his left hand to make the shot.
Boy, what a difference this preseason so far is on the first game. There's McGrady. His first year with the Rockets last year, he was learning his way, and he didn't want to be too forceful. He was trying to pass off a lot. They finally had to talk to him. Jeff said, hey, look, Tracy, we brought you here to score, too.
Shoot the ball.
Shoot the ball.
I think Rafer Alston's going to get the same speech here pretty quick. When you're open, shoot the basketball. Watch out.
Udoka Emi Udoka goes to the basket for 2. Udoka out of Portland State, his second NBA season. Timeout taken by Houston. 2:40 left to play in the first half. And the Sixers have had the lead most of the way. Philly up by 3. If you think you're a shooter, the Houston Rockets and Toyota are on a search to crown the Clutch City Shootout champion. You can win a portion of $25,000 for your school's athletic department. Come out on October the 22nd and the 29th to Marion Community Center to qualify. Visit Rockets.com for more details and a registration form. Live it every day, every game. I know you're a shooter, but you're not eligible.
I'm not?
Nope.
I was going to head down there to the Marion Community Center. Sign up.
Well, they need somebody to pass to the shooter.
I can't do that.
McGrady outside looking down to Yao. From the corner, basket missed. Yao19p tips it to himself, plays a little volleyball, but Iguodala comes up with it. He's fouled by Rafer Alston. Steve Castleberry, big 7-foot center out of Ryder. He's a rookie, has checked in.
Do you know where Ryder is?
Yes.
It's in New Jersey. Actually, I was having that conversation with Jim Foley before the game. Actually, Gene Peterson was asking me, where the heck is Ryder? Jim Foley thought it was in Philly.
There have been some good players out of Ryder.
Yeah.
Iguodala out of Arizona. He was drafted
some good players
in the
out
first
there,
round.
too.
Boy, I'll tell you, this kid has got a chance to be a really good player in this league for a long time. Castleberry was getting ready to go overseas to play when Philadelphia called and gave him a tryout. So he said, sure.
That's always a difficult decision, too. Should I try to make an NBA team, or should I take some guaranteed money overseas? And it's something that a lot of fringe players, that's the kind of decision that they have to make.
Yeah, but Matt, as you pointed out earlier, if he gets a chance to let other people see him play in the preseason, he can still go overseas, can't he? Or does he lose that?
Well, I'm sure the team that he was going to go over and play for has already picked up another guy. They're not going to wait around and see if he makes the team. So as the season goes on, your options to go overseas narrow quickly.
He played 2 years at Ryder. Lewis Williams trying to guard on the perimeter there as Yao-Ming puts it up. Boy, you give him that shot, he'll eat you up all day. Yao-Ming with 9 points. 2-point lead by the Sixers. This Williams is an exciting young kid right out of high school, and they really like his speed. They say he does a lot of things like Iverson does, and a turnover by the Sixers.
Well, if you're a high schooler and he was drafted in the 2nd round and he comes in, this is his first taste of NBA action. I'm sure he's got some nerves going out there right now.
People thought he would go a little higher than he did. T-Mac behind the 3-point line. Down to Yao.
Yao's got to go to work here. He's got a young guy on him who can't guard him.
Ball away good for Yao-Ming. 11 points.
Those are the kind of post moves that Yao has been working on. You know, you can drill on your post moves all you want, but to actually do them in a game, that's where he's really going to excel.
And a turnover by the Sixers on the pass into the post. We've had our 4th tie now, 4 lead changes as Mo Cheeks looks on, and Yao-Ming takes it to the basket, gets it back, and he's fouled.
Looks like Castleberry and Bradley are trying to figure out who's guarding Yao. You'd think that who's got the 7'6" guy? Oh, I'll take him. Probably should know who's got him, huh?
Well, the problem, Bradley's 6'11", and Castleberry is listed at 7 foot tall, but he only weighs about 220 pounds. So he's not real strong. Kyle Korver checks back into the game.
So you're saying if he weighed like 275, he'd be able to guard Yao?
I think he could bump him a little more.
Okay. There's a couple of the worst hairdos in the league right there, Castleberry and Korver.
You think they work on those very long?
You know, they probably do. They probably spend 20 minutes in front of a mirror to get their hair to look that bad.
Williams out front. There's another turnover by the Sixers. And it looked like Korver was coming off a pick, but he fell down.
Well, Korver was trying to curl inside. He felt the defender on his hip. And the youngster from high school doesn't really know about that curl play yet.
Yao Ming puts it up. Will not go down. And Juwan Howard is pushed from behind. And it'll be Houston's ball. Fresh 24 on the shot clock. Just under 44 seconds left to play in this first half as it's looking more and more like a preseason game.
Yep. Now I guess the Rockets are going to be shooting free throws. Is that what they're saying? Or we got a jump ball. The officials couldn't decide who had the ball, so they're going to jump it up in the middle. Now 43.9 seconds, Bill. This is a great opportunity to work on your 2-for-1 situation. Whichever team gets the tip, if you take a shot with between 30 and 36 seconds left in the game, you're going to get another shot at the end of the game. That's called a 2-for-1 or end of the half. So we'll see if the Rockets, if they get the tip, well, Philly's going to get the tip. If they shoot between 30 and 36 seconds, they'll have a 2-for-1.
Lewis Williams out front. 18 years old. He said his high point was, oh, boy, an alley-oop. You could see it coming to Iguodala. And again, Korver was the man at the other end with a pass. Oh, boy, what a play.
Wow.
Tied at 54. That Iguodala, he can get up there.
You see, Philly shot the ball with 31 seconds left, so they're going to get the ball back here at the end of the half.
13 seconds. 4 on the shot clock for Houston. Juwan Howard puts up the jumper, misses it. 5 seconds left. Korver's a good long-range shooter. Got to watch him. Castleberry gives it up. And at the buzzer, Iguodala hits the jumper. So, boy, what a finish Andre Iguodala had in the first half with a slam dunk and a jump shot going off the court. And the Philadelphia 76ers hit for 4 in a row. They did a much better job of clock management. 56-54 Philly. Stay with us. Tonight's Toyota Power Team halftime report comes your way after the break.
Welcome back to the Toyota Power Team Dealers halftime show. The Rockets trail the 76ers 56-54. And let's take a look at some Rockets turnovers and Rockets fast break. Now, on this play right here, Tracy McGrady's got the ball, and he's going to pass it to an open shooter. And the Rockets got to take that shot. 2 open shots that they pass up, they get a turnover. So now the 76ers are on the fast break. They push the ball. The Rockets don't quite get back on defense in time. Now stop it right there. Stop it right there. Rafer Alston in the corner. He sees, hey, they just made a basket. Let's get the ball out and fast break. So Juwan Howard, inbounds pass. Rafer Alston, a nice 3-quarter court pass down to Derek Anderson. And that's what the Rockets have got to do. Even if the ball goes in the basket, you can go ahead and stop it there. But if the Rockets turn the ball over, they give up a basket, they're going to be a fast-breaking team this year. So the ball goes in the basket or they get a rebound, they're going to push it out on the fast break.
Welcome back to the Toyota Power Team highlights, and the second half will be coming up in just a few moments. 56-54, Philadelphia leading it here. And Philadelphia got off to a quick start, and it was Allen Iverson who did not play very much. He did start the game. He played only 10 minutes, but he was very active while he was in there as he finished with 8 points. John Salmons came off the bench. They're really looking for big things from this young man in his 4th season. He came off and scored 9 points in 9 minutes. But Andre Iguodala was acrobatic. He came and scored 14 points on some acrobatic dunk shots. For the Rockets, Yao Ming took charge early in the paint. Yao played 14 minutes and scored 13 points as he made an assortment of jump shots. And then Tracy McGrady took over. Boy, he had a 15-point first half. He played 20 minutes. There's T for 3 from the outside. He went down the baseline with a beautiful move to the basket on a double clutch. Tracy McGrady was all over the place. 7 of 13 from the field. And that's what they're doing at halftime. The Rockets with a great shooting second quarter, shooting 50% for the first half. Philadelphia 58%. And look at Philly with 14 fast break points. And the starting front court for Houston overwhelming the front court for Philadelphia. But it's not quite enough here at halftime as the Sixers lead at 56-54. We'll be back with more from Philadelphia in just a moment. Welcome back to the Wachovia Center, where Philadelphia leads it here at halftime by a couple. And Matt Bullard, typical preseason game?
I think it's very atypical. Both teams are shooting the ball great. The Rockets shooting 50%, Sixers shooting 58%. You don't normally see that in the first preseason game.
I think Jeff Van Gundy would like a little better defense.
Absolutely. The Rockets' offense looked very good for the first game. Their defense, not so good. I'm sure they heard about it at halftime.
Allen Iverson only played 10 minutes in the first half. Tracy McGrady may be at his limit of 20 minutes. We'll see in the second half. And we'll be back with the action in just a moment from Philadelphia. Welcome back to the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia as we get ready to start the second half of the first preseason game. Let's take a look at the leading scores for Houston. T-Mac with 15, Yao Ming with 13, Derek Anderson off the bench, Juwan Howard with 6, Rafer Alston with 5. For Philadelphia, Andre Iguodala with a couple of spectacular slams down the lane. He's also added 14 points. John Salmon's off the bench with 9. Allen Iverson played only 10 minutes. And Lee Nalon coming off the bench shows you he's still got that scorer's mentality. For the Philadelphia 76ers, Samuel Dalembert, their starting center, will not play. He is injured. And Chris Webber is not playing tonight also for Philadelphia. And, of course, they're really happy here in Philly with that Webber-Iverson combination. They did not play well together at the end of last season, but they're coexisting very well now in the preseason. Iverson says he's really happy the way it's coming.
Well, I think Chris Webber is the type of guy who's used to having the ball in his hands. He's a very good passer. And when he was with Sacramento, the offense went through him. When he came here to Philly, the ball is always in Allen Iverson's hands. So it's a big adjustment for Chris Webber.
Iguodala puts up the jumper short. Bradley chases down the rebound. Fresh 24 for Philly. Well, they've tried to bring in a second scorer to go side by side with Allen Iverson down through the years. I remember Jerry Stackhouse was one, but it never worked very well because he was the point guard. He handled the ball and he scored. Yao Ming to the basket. Very physical. Missed the shot. 12 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, I think if you're trying to put a scorer with Allen Iverson, it's got to be a big guy. Nice pass that time from Derek Anderson inside to Juwan Howard, but it's going to have to be a big guy, a lot like the way the Rockets have with a Yao Ming at center and Tracy McGrady at kind of the 2-3.
Allen says it would be all right if it were Clark Kent and Superman because it was just one guy.
Well, that's all it took on that possession to get one shot.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, okay.
He was just one guy, and sometimes Allen can be Jekyll or Hyde.
Yeah, and on that play, he was just one guy, and he took the shot.
But I think Weber's hoping it'll be Batman and Robin, and he's hoping he can get the Batman part. But I think he's going to be more like the Robin.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
It's Allen's team. It's Allen's city.
Allen Iverson has played for the same team, this 76ers team, this is his 10th season. Only a handful of guys in the NBA have tenure with their team. Kevin Garnett and one other. I was reading in the notes. Should I go back to him, Bill?
Yeah, you've got it there handy.
Yeah, let's see. I think it would be Kobe, and I'll find it.
What are you throwing it to me for?
I'll find it.
Well, I would say Tim Duncan, right offhand. Since he's been with San Antonio, he's already won 3 championships.
Here, you watch the game. I'll read this book over here.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. Michael Bradley pokes Yao right in the noggin.
All right. Yep, Allen Iverson. The other guys are Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. They're all entering their 10th season.
Cleveland.
Yeah. Watch this replay here. Yao getting slammed across the face. And that's the type of thing you don't want to see. That's a hard foul. This is preseason basketball. You don't need to see that here in the preseason. And Yao especially doesn't need a broken nose or a broken face.
But Michael Bradley's trying to earn a spot. He's the third guy in the middle. They brought Stephen Hunter over, signed him for big bucks to back up Dalembert. So Bradley is playing for a spot as the third big man coming in. So he's trying to impress some folks.
He didn't impress you out too much with that.
No, he didn't. Oh, Alston almost got the steal. Look at the quick hands of Iverson.
He passed it.
Over to Korver.
And rebounded it.
Pretty good little rebound.
And passed it again.
And Yao with a block.
Now, see, that's the thing. If you're Allen Iverson, you pass it 2-3 times and your team doesn't score, he's going to shoot it next time.
Derek Anderson puts up the jumper, got it off the glass. Nice assist from Rafer Alston. Now, that's the fast break using the jump shot, isn't it?
Yes. And you're not always going to be able to take it all the way to the rim. As a matter of fact, you're very rarely going to get it all the way to the rim. You've got to be able to hit a mid-range jump shot.
Good defense there by Juwan Howard, creates the turnover. Back down to Wesley. Look at the Rockets hustle it up.
See, Rafer had an open shot that time and passed it up.
Eric Anderson to Yao Ming. He's fouled going to the basket. Look at the ball movement by Houston. Now, that's not preseason ball movement. That looks mid-season.
It does. And the Rockets are definitely passing up open shots and passing the ball around and getting more open shots. So here's the ball movement we'll see now. Rafer Alston pushes it ahead. David Wesley back to Rafer. Now here's an open shot. He passes it up. Over here, there's an open shot. Drives it in. So the Rockets are getting open looks. That's good news.
Remember, you wondered how much Tracy would play after playing 20 minutes in the first half?
Yeah, how much?
Well, he's not out there to start the second half. Derek Anderson is playing for Tracy McGrady, so I don't know. We may have seen Tracy McGrady for tonight, and that would be fine with me. I know the fans would like to see him.
I agree with that. I think if you're going to play Tracy 20 minutes, play him 20 minutes in the first half and let him sit down in the second. I always felt like it was easy to get loose once in a day, but when you have to get loose twice, that's more difficult. And you're going back to Jeff Van Gundy talking about two-a-day practices, how he's starting to back off those a little bit. And as an older player like Tracy McGrady, he plays a lot of minutes. He doesn't need to be getting loose twice in one day.
Yeah, he's old. He's 27.
Yeah. It's not about age, Bill. It's about mileage.
You know what, though? He is only 27, but this is his 9th year in the NBA.
Isn't that amazing that the way the NBA has gone? You look at guys like Kevin Garnett when they came in when they're 18 years old.
Right. Played a long time.
Kevin Garnett's going to make over $200 million in his career.
Similar to your career.
Yeah.
Maybe one too many
$200.
Maybe too many zeros. Oh, that's traveling by Hunter. And again, the defense is much crisper for Houston here to start the second half.
You think that Coach Van Gundy had something to say about that over halftime?
Might have said, if you play a little better defense, I'll let you sit down soon.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Well, defense is first and foremost on this Rockets team, and the Rockets' defense in the first half was not their best, so we'll see if they can improve in the second half.
Fade away by Yao. Last time they had a big man like Yao Ming, or that tall, it was the 7'2" Wilt Chamberlain here in Philadelphia. He was shooting that fadeaway jump shot and averaging 50 points a game. There's Stephen Hunter with a basket. Rafer Alston with a beautiful crossover, sets up Wesley for a long two.
I think that Rafer's going to get a lot of assists this year.
Boy, don't you know it. He's already got 7.
Yep. He looks to pass the ball first, and his teammates are going to love playing with him.
Well, you know, Matt, there's something to be said for that. There's Hunter taking it inside and a whistle. And
nice defense that time by Rafer.
Knocked it out of bounds. But something to be said, when you've got T-Mac at the other end, along with Juwan Howard, who can finish a shot too, and Yao Ming, you ought to average about 10 rebounds a game. Do you think?
Oh, yeah. You're talking rebounds or assists?
I mean assists.
Yeah. I mean, Rafer, he's the type of guy, if you're a shooter or a scorer, you love to play with a guy like him.
Who was assisting you on all your threes when you played? Kenny Smith?
Akeem.
He was passing it back out to you.
Whenever I'd shoot before Akeem would touch it, he'd get mad at me. He'd say, "Bull, keep it simple. Throw it to me." And then, I'd throw it to him, and I'd stand there, and if he got double teamed, he'd throw it back out.
It worked.
It did. Got a lot of great passes from Akeem. Also, I love playing with Charles Barker. He really drew the double team down low, and he was backing it in.
Yeah, he was a really great passer. Ball is loose, and Rafer with a heads-up play, tipped it back to one of his teammates, and Rafer Alston will set it up. 7:32 left to play in the third quarter. Foul is called.
On Iguodala reaching in.
That's the third team foul on Philly. The Rockets have one, with 7:25 left to play in the third quarter. Rafer Alston with a runner. And Bradley with a rebound. Allen Iverson in the open court. And a foul is called. Derek Anderson was being overwhelmed by Iguodala down in the post, so he fouled him.
Iguodala is one of those guys that he can score inside, he can score outside, he can take it to the basket. That time he was on the post up against a little bit smaller guy and took advantage of the mismatch.
Yeah, he's strong. Double team on Iverson. And Wesley knocked it away. Howard gives it back to David. He's got Anderson in one wing. He pulls up and shoots it and misses. Rockets up by a point, 64-63 with 6:52 left in the third quarter. We have a timeout on the court. Be back with more in a moment. Welcome back to Philadelphia, where the Rockets lead it by a point in this first preseason game. Iverson matched up with Rafer Alston. Stephen Hunter tries to set that pick. Iverson takes it up the middle and in for two.
Vintage Allen Iverson that time.
Quickly back the other way for the Rockets. Juwan Howard with the jumper from the outside. Beautiful touch for Juwan.
And that's what I was talking about at halftime. When the Rockets get scored on, they can still take the ball out of the basket, push the ball up the court, and play offense against a defense that's not set.
Kyle Korver. He and Quentin Richardson tied for the most threes in the NBA last year. And he put up a ton of them.
What did he make, 222?
Yep.
Broke Dana Barros' three-point record here in Philly.
There's traveling on Derek Anderson. Korver is a terrific shot, and he is really going to help him take a little pressure off of Iverson. But what Mo Cheeks wants him to do is fake a little bit and drive to the basket. He thinks he'll get more opportunities, and that's what he's been working on in the preseason.
Yeah, he needs to work on that because that's definitely what he's going to get.
Offensive foul on Iverson.
A little elbow that time pushed Rafer off of him, but Kyle Korver will get more opportunities to take the ball to the basket because if you make 222 threes in a season, that's the way other teams are going to play you, so you can give a little pump fake and drive to the hoop. I used to try that every once in a while.
Oh, did you? Yeah, well, that's why we called you Air Bullard.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, he attempted 558 threes.
Wow.
To come up with his 226. Vernon Maxwell, I think, had the record before then for putting up the threes, but Vernon had a way of making some big ones.
Oh.
Nice pass to Yao Ming. That's Juwan Howard. Boy, welcome back, Juwan.
Yep.
He's just such a nice player.
Yeah, he understands the game. He sees the floor so well. You know, he's playing the power forward, but he's really got kind of a point guard mentality out there. There you go.
Juwan Howard.
He's everywhere.
Well, he's done 5 different things since the second half started.
Yep.
He scored. He's defensed. He's passed, assisted. You know, he said he didn't realize, Matt, how much he loved basketball until it was almost taken away from him last year.
And that's great that he has a chance to continue to play. You know, and I felt that during my career too. I think, as we'll watch there, you know, taking getting good position, taking a charge, and you know, when you scream a little bit, you get the call.
So don't you imagine it hurts?
Sometimes.
There's a steal by Iguodala. Iverson. You got to have some help on him. Good defense by Houston. And Juwan Howard with the rebound.
Yeah, nice rebound that time by Juwan. Getting back to what I was saying is David Wesley draws a big foul. But as a player, you know, at the beginning of your career, you're excited, you're playing in the NBA, and then you get to the midpoint in your career, you know, years 4, 5, 6, 7, you kind of get tired of all the traveling, and you see David Wesley taking a big foul there as he's driving in. But then as you get towards the end of your career, you start to realize, hey, this isn't going to last forever, and you start to really savor, you know, the games and really savor it. And that's what older guys like David Wesley and Juwan Howard, they know that it's not going to last forever, and they're going to take advantage of it and really enjoy it while they can.
Believe it or not, this will be the 13th season for David Wesley. I remember when he came to the Rockets camp after he played his 4 seasons at Baylor University. He was an outside chance. That was a veteran Rockets team, and David did not make the team. But he made a nice place in the NBA by playing well in the preseason.
Yep.
And had a great career.
He didn't make the Rockets team, and he ended up catching on with the Celtics and had 4 or 5 great years with the Celtics, and then went over to the Charlotte Hornets, where he really played the bulk of his career.
Well, that was a big trade for Houston last year. They picked David up on December 27th for Jim Jackson and Boki Nakbar. And that's when the Rockets were able to turn it around. 70-69, Sixers up by a point with 4 minutes left to play. And Alston, oh boy, how did he get that up and in? Rafer Alston.
I don't know how he made that one. I don't even know how he could see the rim.
He was covered up by a lot of arms. 7 points for Rafe. Almost a steal by Lonnie Baxter. Iverson with that crossover pulls back for the jumper. Boy, he's something to see. What an exciting player. And to be as physical as he plays, as small as he is, he's played a long time. Nice pass by Alston, and David Wesley misses. Mutombo with a rebound, sets himself. He's fouled on the play. And Deke will go to the free throw line.
Going back to that shot that Allen Iverson made, he put a little move on Rafer, made the shot, and then said something to Rafer, and Rafer took offense, and then Rafer was smiling a little bit, but Luther Head comes into the game before David Wesley. This would be our first chance to see Luther play.
Yeah, of course, if you followed college basketball, you got plenty of chances to see him play last year. He was on that great Illinois team. Went to the finals of the NCAA, and he was the #1 draft choice of the Houston Rockets. Really excited about playing, and I think Luther has a good, well-rounded game, Matt.
Well, he's in a position that he's not going to get a lot of playing time this year, I wouldn't think, unless the Rockets have some severe injuries. But he's in a position where he's going to be able to learn the NBA game from a great coach and from some great players, and it's really going to help him down his career.
Bradley made a nice fake, looked like an option quarterback. Everybody went with the other guy, but he missed the shot. And an offensive foul is called on Lonnie Baxter.
That's called laying the wood right there. Lonnie Baxter, he's got, LB, that's his nickname. It stands for Lonnie Baxter, not
linebacker,
or pounds, or. But Allen Iverson ran into him, and he felt it.
Iverson and Alston matched up out front. These two teams playing a lot of defense for a preseason game. Kyle Korver.
He makes that three-point shot look effortless.
He really has a pretty shot, doesn't he?
He does. A lot of guys, you can really tell that they have to force it to get it that far, but not Kyle Korver. He looks right in rhythm when he shoots that ball.
Timeout on the court, 2:42 left to play in the third quarter. And in Philadelphia, the Sixers lead it by 2 over the Rockets. That tells you the story right there. Philadelphia up by 2, 2:42 left in the third quarter. Juwan Howard back and playing for the Houston Rockets and playing very well.
Well, he can do it all. He does a little bit of everything here in this package. You see, he can shoot the 18-foot jump shot. He can get a rebound when he needs to. There's a scrapping for the rebound. How about this pass? That court vision right there is exceptional. And then play a little defense, take a charge. Juwan Howard doing it all here in the first preseason game.
Yeah, it really looks well. And, of course, he had that viral infection to his heart last year. And he thought that might be the end of his basketball career, but he has rallied back, and he looks as good as ever. And it's good to see. Luther Head went up for a shot. And dang guy said, welcome to the league.
Yeah.
And I'm a rookie, too.
Luther said, hey, you're a rookie, too. Well, I'll always remember my first shot that I took in the NBA. It was a layup over Manute Bolt. And so Luther Head will always remember this first shot was rejected by dang guy.
Well, Derek Anderson came back at the other end to make the basket. And the Rockets have tied it at 75. So Iverson set for most of the first half, and Tracy McGrady is sitting for all of the second half here for Houston. Those guys are going to be averaging, you know, every year Iverson and McGrady are 1 and 2 in minutes played.
Wet spot on the floor. Derek Anderson hit that. Came up kind of holding his hamstring. Let's hope no one hits that wet spot there.
Lonnie Baxter. Luther Head. Luther Head played more tournament games than anybody ever at Illinois. There's a nice reversal. You know, I like the looks of Lonnie Baxter tonight. Played some good basketball.
Yeah, he really looks good out there. And you know, he was the leading scorer in the summer league, the entire summer league, and the Rockets signed him. They've got something special there. He's probably not going to get a lot of playing time in the regular season, but he's a guy that you'll see in a Rockets uniform eventually.
Yeah, but he's got a chance to play when they put him in. There he is again contesting the rebound. He's always around the basketball.
Yep. And if you're going to have a guy sitting on the end of your bench, you want a guy like Lonnie who hustles, who plays hard when he's out there, who really plays hard in practice, and hey, when he gets the ball in his hands, he can score it too.
He's a good rebounder, Matt. He's only 6'8". He's a little on the short side for a power forward, but that big body makes bodies fly when he gets the ball.
Well, he's got a big body, but he's also got some spring. So there's a lot of guys who have big bodies who can't move, but he can definitely move too.
Now watch what's going on inside with Baxter and Thomas. Yeah. Those are a couple of really physical guys. And a foul on Kyle Korver. Boy, never foul a jump shooter. And he bailed Luther Head out.
We talked about the youngster, the high school kid for the Sixers playing in his first NBA game. He had to have some nerves. Well, Luther Head's just been in the game for just a few minutes. Let's watch and see these free throws and see if he's nervous or not.
Those are his numbers last year at Illinois.
Not too bad. You wouldn't think a guy who played in the NCAA tournament, like you said, as many games as he played, would be nervous in an NBA preseason game, but I bet you he is.
Oh, well, you've got to have some butterflies when you go to the next level, don't you? He had played in 14 NCAA tournament games for Illinois, scoring 162 points, and that's a record for a player at Illinois. In the summer league, what they really liked about him, he led the summer league in Minnesota in steals. He averaged about 2 a game, so he's very quick off the ball.
Rockets did not lose a game in the summer league this summer.
Keith Langford has checked in for Houston now. He's a young man out of Kansas. So the Rockets backcourt now, a couple of youngsters who went deep into the NCAA tournament. Langford and Luther Head. Oh, nice drive by Luther Head.
He was kind of caught in the corner there, didn't have anywhere to go. He made something out of nothing.
Rockets up 81-79 now with 18 seconds left in the quarter. And Allen Iverson forces it up and in. Ties the game. He can untie it with a free throw. Have you ever seen anyone operate down in the paint with the big guys like Allen Iverson?
The Rockets are trying to double team him. There's actually 3 guys around him. Look at that foul, and he's still able to get the ball to go in. That's incredible for a guy who's 6 foot, maybe, and 165 pounds.
They have him listed at 6 feet, but it's a long 6 feet. I mean, he has those long arms, and he just has a way of getting the shot off.
Well, his quickness is really doesn't come across on TV. I mean, you've got to see Allen Iverson play in person to really get a feel for how quick he is.
On the pass-off, Langford is fouled. He'll get a couple of free throws. John Salmons with the foul for Philly. Both teams in the bonus.
You know, Allen Iverson is one of those guys. I mean, he takes so many shots. You said he takes 30 shots a game, but it looks like he's got cobwebs on his arm, Bill. He's got cobwebs. He hasn't been shooting much this summer, has he?
Well, Halloween's coming up.
He's got half of his costume already, huh?
He's getting that for the kids.
Wonder how many of those kids will buy now that Allen Iverson's wearing the spider web arm.
Spider-Man.
I want one.
You know, Spider-Man, he can fly pretty good, too. Langford gets 1 out of 2. Got it off in time, but it will not go. Well, I think this is apropos. We had 14 lead changes in this game, and now we're tied at 82 as we get ready to go to the final 12 minutes. Come back and join us for the fourth quarter in just a moment. We're all tied at 82 as we get ready to go to the fourth quarter. Time to check in on tonight's AIG Big Man Watch. Yao Ming in 21 minutes, 19 points, and 4 rebounds. And sometimes, Matt, you say, where did he get the 19 points?
Yeah, that's a quiet 19 points right there, Yao Ming. When you look at his stats, well, I didn't think he had 19, but he's 7 for 7 from the free throw line, and that's how scorers can score their points.
And a tripping foul on Allen Iverson.
We were talking to Coach Van Gundy yesterday about Yao, and we asked him, did he think that Yao is improving, or is Yao going to be better? We see all this potential, and Van Gundy says, hey, Yao Ming is the only superstar in the league who plays with a guy who's better than he is, Tracy McGrady. And so Yao, I really think he's a great complement to Tracy McGrady, and tonight's game just proves it. Yao's got 19 points, and we had no idea.
Well, when you look at his first 3 seasons in the league, his numbers just keep getting better every year.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Van Gundy said. He said, look, he's showing improvement every year. It's an incremental improvement. You're not going to see a big jump from a guy at this level.
And nobody puts as much pressure on Yao Ming than Yao Ming does.
Yeah, he's very hard on himself. He constantly is working and trying to get better, and that's the kind of attitude that you've got to have if you're going to improve your game as a professional. You've got to have that drive inside, and Yao Ming definitely is very self-driven.
I mean, he's really feeling a lot better about himself. In China this year, he had some surgery on his ankle, so he did not have to work out with the Chinese team as much as he normally does. He got some rest, and Anthony Falzone, his personal trainer, went over there to China with him. Traveling called on Luther Head.
Luther Head said, hey.
He reported to his physical, Matt, 7.5% body fat.
Yeah, that's incredible. For a man of his size, 7'6", over 300 pounds, to have 7.5% body fat is amazing.
He thinks that will help him a lot with his endurance this season. Head almost got the steal, got the ball from Korver. Korver puts it up. That Luther Head is quick. And the Rockets now have a small lineup in there, except for Mutombo and Baxter, but Head and Keith Langford and Moochie Norris. That Langford's quick.
Well, we got 11 minutes left in this game. If I was coaching the 76ers, I'd have Allen Iverson out of this game right now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You want Allen Iverson. I mean, obviously he's a great player. He just hit that shot, but you don't want him to get hurt on October 11th. When you're, and the guys that are out on the court right now, Luther Head and Langford, and we've got some young guys out there that are trying to make this team. Allen Iverson does not need to be on the court right now.
That's a good point. That's when you get hurt, some rookie. Moochie Norris hits the jumper from the outside. And the Rockets go back up by 2. The Sixers are playing tomorrow night in South Carolina against San Antonio.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
And, the Rockets are playing tomorrow night in Houston. I like our side of it better.
Yeah. We've also got a preseason game in Laredo.
And Oklahoma City. Of course, Oklahoma City is going to be the home for the New Orleans Hornets this year, so that'll be kind of a practice run for Oklahoma City to get an NBA game going. Baxter gets it back. Almost threw it away. Luther Head in the corner. Thought about it. Now takes it to the basket. Nice pass by Luther Head. And Lonnie Baxter puts it up and in. I got to see some more of this Luther Head. He's head and shoulders above all the other rookies. I'm sorry. Iguodala taking it in. He missed the shot. And a jump ball. That dang guy got him. You're killing me, Bill. You're killing me. I couldn't. Oh, man. It was just laying there. Yeah. It was just. I ain't touching it. Who's going to win this jump? Oh, man. Well, I think Mutombo's going to. Oh, he did. Yeah, good. Yes, he did. Thank you. Is there a game still going? Yes, there is. Okay. Luther Head. If he hits that 3. Really, there's Head creating a turnover. Yeah, those are. We talked about loose ball foul called on Moochie Norris. You talked about Luther Head averaging 2 steals a game in the summer league, and you see he's got very, very quick hands and he's very aggressive on defense.
Well, we said that, hey, he might not play much this year, but hey, he might. The way he's playing.
He's going to play a lot in the preseason. I don't know after that. But
That's
when you were a veteran, once you became a veteran, did you hate to play against rookies in a preseason game?
Yeah, and then even during practice in the regular season. I remember when I was a rookie, and I was on injured reserve quite a bit because they were just bringing me along, and the team would be out on a road trip, and we'd come back and practice, and I'd be fresh at practice. I'd be going at it, and Hakeem would look at me. And I remember one time, it was in March, and Hakeem was sitting on the bench, and I was out there practicing, and Hakeem wanted to go in and play, and he looked at me and he goes, "Hey, you, number 50, I got you." It was March and didn't even know my name.
Well, you really impressed him. Keith Langford, nice pass to Luther Head to the middle, back to Moochie Norris. 3 on the shot clock. Moochie double clutches, puts it up and in.
But yeah, getting back to your original question, as a veteran, you hate playing against rookies in preseason games because they're out there going 100 miles an hour, and you're just trying to get into shape.
How about Moochie Norris? You tend to forget about Mooch with all of these other players around here, but he's trying to make this team. He came back. He told us last night he's in the best shape he's ever been in. He weighs 186.
186. Yeah, he said he has never weighed 186 when he's played with the Rockets, and that goes back a few years. So he played all summer in Houston in the summer leagues. He said he's really had a great time playing basketball. He's loving playing the game, and he feels like he came into camp in shape and ready to go.
I don't think he would want to go to a Jeff Van Gundy camp fat.
Oh, no. But Moochie's, he's taking this opportunity seriously, and it's good to see him out on the court tonight. He's got 7 points on 3 for 4 shooting.
Well, the Rockets made that deal with the Knicks last year. They picked up Ben Baker along with Moochie Norris to unload Maurice Taylor's contract, and Maurice went to the Knicks. Ben Baker was cut a couple of weeks ago, and Moochie's still trying to make this team. Langford outside. Moochie will fire up a three-pointer, just rimmed it out, and the rebound to Philly. 91-84, Rockets with their biggest lead of the game. Udoka takes it inside, and Dangai is fouled by Lonnie Baxter. Well, we got a timeout on the court with 8:32 left to play in the game, and the young rookies for Houston are taking over. Rockets with their biggest lead of the game. Hey, if you want great seats for the best games, purchase one of our many multi-game plans, and we have weekend packages, weekday packs, and several other options to build just to suit you. Call 713-627-DUNK or log on to Rockets.com. We'll set you up with a ticket package that works for you, and it's going to be an exciting season at Toyota Center. And you need to be there to live it, Matt.
Every day, every game, Bill.
You're committed. Or you need to be committed.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be there every game. I'll be there for the road games, and Clyde will be there for the home games. But we're going to live it, though.
Yes, we are. Dan Guy with the free throw. Look at the young guys taking over.
Lonnie Baxter with a nice rebound and put back, and
Derek Anderson.
Yeah, Derek's he's a new guy, but he's not a young guy.
No. Well, he's young
at heart.
Sitting in my seat.
Baseline drive there from Luther Head. I would say that the future of the Rockets looks really good out here tonight.
The Rockets haven't had one of those first-round draft choices in a while and look as good as Luther Head does. 3 seconds down to 2. Luther Head up and in. Luther Head beats the buzzer with a jumper. What an impressive young man. 7 minutes, 6 points, 3 assists.
Yeah, he looks good out there.
Well, you can see why Illinois got all the way to the finals. He wasn't even considered the best player on that team, but they did say he didn't have the numbers the other guys had, but he was the leader.
Yeah. And that goes a long ways, too. And, when you're looking for a guy that's in college to make it in the NBA, you're looking at talent for sure. You're looking at how his numbers, but you really want to look at what kind of character he has. Is he a leader? Is he a good guy? Is he going to keep stay out of trouble? And Luther Head was definitely the leader on that Illinois team. Nowadays, if you're a rookie in the NBA, you're a millionaire.
Is that right? He made a pretty nice living. sitting down there at the end of the bench.
I did.
Coming in, popping a few threes every now and then.
But I certainly wasn't a millionaire when I was a rookie. And you know, when you get that much money at that young of an age, you need to be able to take care of yourself and take care of your business.
Iguodala comes out of the game. And checking in for the Sixers is Lee Nalon again. Also checking in for Houston is Chuck Hayes, young man out of Kentucky. You noticed those young players on the court, Langford from Kansas, Head from Illinois, Hayes from Kentucky. They're all from major college programs. Really good coaching, huh?
Well, you know, I think that's one of the things that the NBA is really starting to miss is these guys who are seasoned college players that play in good college programs. And Carol Dawson did an excellent job of getting some young guys who, you know, who are good players, but also are seasoned from a good college program.
93-87 now. The Rockets lead it. 7:20 left to play in the game. Luther Head, what a great move as he gets to the basket. And an offensive foul. Called on Luther Head.
That's a mistake that Luther will correct as he plays more. He drove down the lane. The defense was already set. He needs to stop and shoot the little jump shot or come to a jump stop and make the pass instead of running through the guys.
Well, that was the one thing Calvin Murphy could do. Remember that?
Stop and pop.
Yep. He had that move, and he could get that lane and get the jumper. There's a turnover. Mucci will pull the trigger. He gives it up to Baxter, and Baxter is blocked. Well, there's Dang Guy again. You see, he averaged over 4 blocks a game his last year in college. In and out won't go, and Hayes with a great rebound, and Guy had to foul him.
Hayes, the scouting report on him is he's very, very active. He's always around the basketball, always getting deflections, always getting rebounds. That time, a nice offensive rebound for Hayes.
Chuck started 110 consecutive games and tied a school record set by the great Alex Groza. Played for Kentucky back in the 40s. Head will set up to play. Luther goes to his left, floats it up, off the back of the iron, won't go. Tipped up by Hayes, and Hayes getting on the glass.
He's everywhere.
6'6", 238 pounds. And he'll get some free throws out of it. He got the free agent contract, Matt, by playing very well in that summer league again. He averaged 6 points, 4 rebounds in 5 games with Houston. That Houston Summer League team went 5-0.
I remember those Summer League games when I was my first 3 years in the league, and that's something that you think, oh man, I got to go play in the Summer League. But it's really, really good for young players to go play against NBA caliber competition.
Boy, Hayes missed it, but he chased down the rebound, and the Rockets get a fresh 24. Here's Luther Head. Langford saves it. This Langford was a heck of a guard at Kansas, too. Outside again, 9 seconds. Head puts up the three-pointer. Luther Head hits again.
You know what he's doing, Bill? He's earning playing time.
Yes, he is.
If you can come out in a preseason game and play like Luther Head's playing, you are getting yourself some minutes.
Boy, he looks impressive. Shot up, won't go, and look at the Rockets. 4 jerseys, red jerseys around that rebound, and Luther Head comes out of there with it. Lucci Norris outside. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lucci on that little give-and-go dribble. He missed the layup.
Like a nice hesitation move, just couldn't finish the layup.
There's the trap by Houston. Salmons couldn't get out of it. Ollie with a charge.
How about that Rockets bench? All of them up cheering for their youngster.
Yeah, they have really done a good job. These young players have come in, and the veterans are right up there cheering them on. Rockets with their biggest lead of the game. The young Rockets have come off the bench to ignite a rally for Houston and give them a 10-point lead. If you think you're a shooter, I got the place for you. The Rockets and Toyota. are on a search to crown the Clutch City Shootout champion, and you cannot enter, Matt. Win a portion of $25,000 for your school's athletic department. Come out on October 22nd and 29th to Marion Community Center to qualify. Visit Rockets.com for more details and register. Get you a form. Live it every day, every game. Well, the Rockets now will put the ball in play, leading by 10. It's been the play of Luther Head, Lonnie Baxter, Moochie Norris. This small lineup has played very well. Langford takes it in, has it blocked. Kevin Ollie back the other way. Great play by Kevin Ollie. He's always been a solid pro, hasn't he? His 8 years in the NBA.
Very, very solid veteran player.
Chance now for the Sixers to work on their full court pressure.
Yeah, I'm interested in that, Bill. They're running their full court press against Rockets reserves, and then using their reserves to do it as well. Doesn't make much sense to me.
How much can you get installed? Luther Head will put up the shot, and it's just short. Well, Luther Head with a steal. Puts up the jump shot for two.
I like that guy.
Oh, boy, I do too.
We might be seeing the punch off the bench that the Rockets are looking for right there.
Well, you'll want to see more. Of course, one game does not make a season for a young player, but it sure shows you if there's more to look for.
Well, if I wanted to watch tomorrow night, where would I be watching at, Bill? Channel 51 tomorrow night?
Yes. Most of the preseason games will be on 51, and then the majority of the regular season games will be on Fox Sports Net.
7:30 tomorrow night.
Yep. At the Toyota Center. Great pass by Luther Head. It's rejected. Dang guy.
That dang guy right there can block some shots.
That dang guy averaged 4 blocks per game, and that puts him in pretty heavy company there.
Well, he's got college. He's got 4 right now in his first NBA preseason game.
Only David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Emeka Okafor finished with averages of 4 blocks or more in their careers, and he played at Tiny Fairfield. He does not have any offensive skills to speak of. He came out early a couple of years ago. Everybody said, you better not do that. So he went back in and played one more year at Fairfield.
He's got that knack to block shots, and that's really a talent that cannot be taught. That timing it takes to block shots.
99-89, and the pressure on Moochie Norris gets it right back over to Luther Head. He's been hot the entire game. This time he's a little short, and dang guy gives it up. There's a miss, and Lonnie Baxter, how many rebounds does he have now? 8.
8 rebounds.
8 points, 8 rebounds for Lonnie Baxter.
20 minutes of play, that's getting it done right there.
And Luther Head with 11 points in 11 minutes. Langford inside, missed it. Not going to hear a lot of whistles, are we? I want to get this game over with. 2:53 left to play. Timeout charged to Houston. And the Rockets youngsters have given the Rockets a 10-point lead with 2:53 left. Welcome back to the Wachovia Center, where the Rockets lead it by 10 with 2:53 left to play. And the youngsters for the Houston Rockets have come in this fourth quarter and turned this game completely around.
Yeah, you see Luther Head right there. He's got 11 points in 12 minutes. Lonnie Baxter with 8 points and 8 rebounds. And Derek Anderson had a pretty nice game, too, 13 points.
Yeah, you know, we talk so much about the job that Carol Dawson did, and there's Anderson with his 13 points. Also, you got to give some kudos to Dennis Lindsay, the Vice President of Basketball Operations, Player Personnel. Dennis and his staff look at all of these guys all year long. They really liked Luther Head going into the draft. The Rockets had the 24th pick in the first round, and you don't get too many pearls that deep into the first round, do you?
No, you know, that's really an excellent job of picking a guy. As Luther Head gets fouled on that drive, but picking a guy who, who's a very, very good basketball player for sure, but also very good character, and that's something that you really want on your team. Jeff Van Gundy's team is a veteran team. You don't want to be bringing a bunch of knuckleheads in on this team.
That's what he said. No knuckleheads.
No knuckleheads.
Well, there's one head, though.
It's Luther head.
I know,
not knucklehead.
It's not a knucklehead. It's a Luther head. I'm really impressed by him, though. You know, the last time the Rockets went that deep successfully, a guy by the name of Sam Cassell, remember?
Yeah.
Late in the, wasn't he a 24th pick?
He was towards the end. How about Coutinho Mobley in the second round?
Yeah, that was great. That was a great pick. Coutinho playing now for the Los Angeles Clippers. You know, with the injury to Amari Stoudemire, that's going to really change the face, I think, of the playoff picture in the Western Conference. Phoenix might be struggling a little bit this year. Golden State looks improved.
Yeah, Golden State's going to be much better team.
And the Clippers might be very improved.
Well, you know, Bill Fitch, one of the longtime old Rockets coaches, said that the Rockets are the second best team in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I have to agree with Bill on that on paper. The tough thing, though, you know, Matt, about playing in Texas, if you just get out of the state of Texas, here's last year's Western Conference. Look at
there's
Texas, San Antonio, there's Dallas, and there's Houston. Now, the three Texas teams, that Texas three-step's pretty tough for a team coming through Texas.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to see Phoenix drop down a little bit, and Seattle I don't think is going to have as good of a year either. Yeah. So, got a chance for the Rockets to move up. Of course, I was talking with Carol Dawson, and he was the one that told me that Bill Fitch said that the Rockets are the second best team in the Western Conference, and Carol Dawson said, yeah, how about my old buddy Bill Fitch putting the pressure on us right from the start?
Well, Bill should know. He was a heck of a basketball coach. Did a great job with the Rockets when he was the head coach. 1986, go to the NBA Finals against his old Boston team. There's a three-pointer, and it bounces around, and guess who gets the rebound? Lonnie Baxter again. The problem, you know, with being real good in the West is San Antonio. I didn't think they could get any better, and the Spurs got better.
Yeah, they did.
Finley, they say.
Yeah, you got Brent Berry sitting on your bench, and then you add Michael Finley.
Udoka travels. So the Rockets really have laid the foundation now with the veterans. McGrady, Howard, Yao, Alston, Wesley, Anderson is a veteran. Mutombo has been re-signed. We haven't even seen John Barry tonight, and he was a big part of that chemistry last year. That chemistry is so important, isn't it, Matt?
Very important. And there's no formula for it. You know, you can't go out and say, we're going to plug these guys in and get this chemistry. It's just something that you know when you have it, but there's no way to really figure out how to get it. And once you get it, you don't want to mess it up.
Tipped up and in by Moochie. Lutherhead got another steal, got it up ahead, and the Rockets get a basket. So Lutherhead in 15 minutes has 13 points, 3 assists, a couple of rebounds, and 2 steals.
Yeah. He's going to be playing a lot more.
Got it.
He has earned his playing time.
Boy, what a wealth of riches for the Rockets with 9 seconds left to play. So the Rockets outscore the Sixers 23-9 in the fourth quarter. No Iverson for Philly, but no T-Mac and Yao for Houston. The Rockets were able to do it with Lutherhead, Keith Langford, Lonnie Baxter, Moochie Norris. So a great job by the youngsters as the Rockets win their first preseason game in Philadelphia, 105-91. Stay tuned. After the break, we'll have the Rockets post-game report. Don't go away. Well, we welcome you back to the Wachovia Center in Philadelphia, where the Rockets win their first preseason game, 105-91, and it was a great effort by the youngsters for the Houston Rockets, especially led by their number 1 draft choice, Lutherhead of Illinois. And Lutherhead came out there blazing in the fourth quarter. Young man, I think you want to make a basketball team here.
Man, that's what it's about, man, coming out and trying to prove yourself, and that's what I tried to do today.
You know, Luther, it's tough because you don't get a lot of minutes. And when you're out there, you have to impress your coach the best way you can. I think what impressed me in the summer league was your steals. You're a good defensive player, and I think that will get Jeff's attention more than anything.
Hopefully so. I mean, he's a tough coach, and he wants the best for his players, and he always preaches to us about defense, and today we did.
You know, a lot of people, when you were drafted 24th pick in the first round, that Illinois team had some bigger names maybe noticeable if you weren't a college fan. But everybody knew you were really one of the leaders of that ball club and had been over the years. And you take a lot of pride in that fact, don't you?
Most definitely. I mean, that's why I play. I always play to win, and I feel like if I do the leadership part for my team, performing-wise, because I'm not a big talker, but I just go out there and try to prove that I'm going to play as hard as I can, and if y'all follow me, we're going to do it.
How did you feel out there in your first NBA preseason? Were you nervous, or did you feel good out there?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I was very nervous coming out first game on the road, put it at that, and I just try to come out here and just play as hard as I can and not think about anything.
What do you think your strength? Now, we saw you drive into the basket. I knew you were a good outside shooter because I'd seen you on TV before. I never had seen you live, but your driving ability, getting into the lane, getting shots, that's something I didn't know.
Oh, that was always a part of my game growing up. I wasn't always a shooter. I didn't start shooting the ball until my sophomore year, so after I got hurt then, I started shooting the ball more, and that gave me more ability to shoot the ball.
Where do you see your role with this Rockets team, Luther? Because there's so many veterans. This team is loaded with talent.
Man, just whatever they need from me. I mean, we got a great bunch of guys and a great bunch of talent on the team, so it's obviously not going to be scoring. So whatever the team needs from me, defense, energy, and whatever the coach wants from me.
Have practices been competitive so far? You going against the first team?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, they're a great team. You see the five we got out there, and they bring it every day, and they play as hard as we do in practice.
So playing against guys like Rafer Alston and Moochie Norris, that's got to be great coming in to learn from great guys like them.
It's great just to play with all those guys, Tracy, Yao, Skip, and all those guys. Just coming out there playing with them, it makes you feel like, man, you finally made it.
Got to pinch yourself every now and then.
Yeah, got to.
Here I am in the big show.
Yeah, you did excellent tonight, that's for sure.
I'll tell you what, you got a believer in me, young man. 13 points in 14 minutes in your first game. Luther Head, there's going to be a lot more excitement where this young man goes. You can see him tomorrow night in the Toyota Center. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back with a post-game, more of the post-game report right after this. 105-91, Houston over Philadelphia. The final score here tonight. Philadelphia led it at halftime, but the Rockets did a good job in that second half. And Matt, we talked a lot about Luther Head and just interviewed Luther, but Keith Langford, I thought, did really a good job. And how about Lonnie Baxter?
Wow. I mean, these young guys for the Rockets really played great basketball tonight. We were wondering how, we knew that the starters would play 18 to 20 minutes, and that's how many Tracy McGrady and Yao played, but the young guys coming in, they really looked good.
Yeah, they did. And I thought when Lonnie Baxter entered the ball game, things started to happen. He was throwing that big body of his around, 261 pounds. Baxter was very active. There you go see him get the basketball. He just took it away from one of the Sixers down on the baseline. He was driving inside. Baxter finished up the game he had 9 rebounds along with 8 points, and then Luther Head did the rest as he had 13 points in his 22 minutes of work.
They had 3 assists and 2 steals to go along with that too, so those two guys really getting it done.
Yeah, they really did, and this is going to be an exciting team, and I would hate to be the guy that has to make the final cut down. Right?
I was going to say that. I was going to hate to be the guy to figure out where all these guys are going to play.
Well, some of them that didn't play tonight will play more tomorrow night in Houston. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment. So a good performance by the Rockets. Jeff Van Gundy got to look at his starters about 15 to 20 minutes tonight. Then the youngsters came in and really got the job done down the stretch. And once again, the final score tonight is 105-91. Join us for our next telecast tomorrow night when the Rockets host Stevie Francis and the Orlando Magic. Coverage begins at 7:30 right here on Channel 51. For Matt Bullard, I'm Bill Worrell saying good night from Philadelphia.